We met at a studio session one time. A few years after that, I remembered meeting her, and I found her on MySpace, and I inboxed her so that we could catch up.
True. That's absolutely true. And I didn't even have a computer at the time. I'm not even sure how I got the message. But when I looked, I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, oh, Micah, that's such and such his friend. Okay. Hey, what's up? And from that, hey, what's up? Here
That's
we are.
it. I know, right? So she didn't even remember where I was. She was like, all I remember about you is your brown skin and your bright smile. That's it. But, we talked a few times over the phone, and we went on one date. And after that one date, honest to God, I knew she was the one. Right away.
I mean, it was a very long date. So, I mean, I'm just saying, I knew right away too. I don't know if it was like in that first moment, but like that first date was a Friday night, and we went out again Saturday, and I had to work Sunday. We went again Monday. And mind you, at the time, we didn't live in the same city. So we were long distance.
Relationship at first.
Yeah.
That's great.
Crazy. Like, I literally drove 2 hours that Monday to go on another date.
To come back.
Yeah.
For another day. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the next day we went on a date, and that was the day Barack Obama got elected, which was super cool, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of blame like our energy for
enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Yeah, that was it, man. Whirlwind romance sounds funny because it wasn't necessarily even a romance.
Neither one of us was really checking for each other like that. It just was in the stars, man. It was like meant to be because I was single and enjoying my singleness. You know what I'm saying? I had my own apartment, had my own car, I was living in the city away from everybody. I was enjoying being single, and then she just came out of nowhere, and I was like, yeah, this is dumb. I should be with her because she's great, and that's really just kind of how it happened.
Yeah, I was the same. I wasn't looking for like, oh, who is Mr. Right? Who is my Prince Charming? I think like a lot of women, I wasn't on that. It was just like, hey, we're cool, we're hanging out, that's cool. I wasn't like, so what are we? Are we gonna be, I knew how I felt, but I also knew that if it was gonna work, it was gonna work without me having to push. Not that it isn't work, not that there isn't, but that initial push wasn't necessary because we both just connected so quickly and it just snowballed. So then like 6 months later, he asked me to marry him, and I was like, yeah.
6 months. I mean, I knew right away. I didn't know if she knew when I knew, but what I did know is that I knew. So I just lived in it. I just was like, all right, cool. I know what I know, so I'm just gonna live like this is it. This is the one. And so that's why I kept saying, hey, come back, come back, come back, come back, because I knew this was it for me. And so 6 months later, I just was like, let's do this, like seriously. And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, she said yeah.
He wasn't. I don't think he was surprised because obviously.
Right. But it still was. This is when the work begins. This is like, yo, this is about to happen. So now we gotta make this happen. So now we gotta figure out, okay, cool. Where are we getting married? We live in 2 different cities. Who's gonna live with who? How are we doing this? So we just had a lot of figuring out to do, and we did it. We figured out everything. We had a rock solid plan, and that's how I knew that, we would make a good team because we figured it all out. But then again, there's a saying that when you make plans, God laughs, right?
Yeah.
And that was the year that the economy crashed and everything was like falling off. business was slow. My job did a massive layoff. I ended up moving back to Chicago in a studio apartment, and she just stayed with me the whole, like everything that went down, she was right there the whole time. And I was like, okay, another point for you. Boom. You know what I'm saying? So like we already get along. We're already super cool. And now, you know, through all this tragedy and trauma, like she's like still sticking it out with me. So all right, bet.
I mean, it kind of cemented us together. You know, it's not trauma bonding, but it is like you have to test your mettle. You have to, you know, every couple goes through things. For me, like my car was totaled in this horrible accident, and it was like super early in the morning when I got the call, and immediately, now we had been dating maybe like 4 or 5 months, maybe 3 or 4 months, and immediately that gut reaction was, oh my God, call Micah. And it was like, oh, you know, because I'm used to handling everything myself. I'm used to figuring it out. You know, I'm a strong, independent woman, all that stuff. And my gut reaction, my instant feeling was call him. And so that let me know, like, oh, Dad, you really, oh. And I called him, and he was like, all right, I'm on my way. And he came, and we figured everything out, and he helped me pick up the rubble and the, you know, just put all the pieces back together. And that, for me, let me know, like, okay, this is something that I was looking for in a partner that I wasn't able to verbalize. I wasn't able to say, you know, but I was looking for someone who offered stability and who was coming to play ball every time they were ready to suit up and say, okay, well, what do we have to do? And for me, that was the, like, okay, cool. And this is before we got engaged. But once we got engaged, it was like, everybody was like, so you guys have known each other for 2 weeks. Like, what?
Nobody believed it. Nobody believed it. They was like, yo, this is crazy, bro. Like, you've been knowing her for no time and you're engaged. And what?
Yeah, for me it was kind of like, you are traveling, you're moving around, you are living your best life, as they say. It's like, and this is before it became popular on social media to have a spouse that you know, worked with, that you were connected to on multi levels. And so for us to be that way, it was kind of like, all my friends were like, okay, girl, if you say so. I don't know what that's gonna mean for your career or what that's gonna mean for your personality type, you know, because I'm just a super cool person. Nobody thinks that I even would take relationships seriously, I guess. But I did, and so we kind of had to climb out of that little hole, but we did it like we do everything else together, and we got married a year to the day of our first date.
1 year, and we just was like, yo, why wait? Let's do this.
Yeah, and we did it. We went to Vegas and
we eloped.
Yeah, so
we just realized our relationship was about us and it wasn't about anybody. So we just took the leap, man, and just jumped out there and did it. And 10 years later, we're still together. We're still happy. We have a child who is growing so fast. We are just a really cool family, man. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. If nothing else, this experience now has taught me a million different things, but one of the greatest things that I've learned from our relationship has been take the risk. You know, it's just like, even if it doesn't make sense,
right?
Even if you don't know where you're gonna land, you know, I from the beginning had total confidence that if we took the risk together, we'd be okay. One of us would figure it out, or we would not figure it out together. Either way.
We don't know. And that's what parenting is. Not knowing and figuring it out and not knowing again. It's like, what is all this?
But not knowing together. And then one of y'all is going to know something that's going to help. You know, at some point it's like, no, I read this.
I read it.
Certain.
Did you Google this yet?
Yes, but I mean, parenting is an entirely different adventure. But we're at a place now where a lot of our friends are finally catching up. They're getting married, and we did it. I mean, we did it later than we thought everybody else did it, you know. But here we are now. Our friends are just getting married and getting into serious relationships and having children, and people are like knocking on the door, like, so
how y'all doing this again? What are you supposed to be doing?
So I mean, we're kind of at a place now where, you know, we're every day is work. We working out the kinks. We're figuring it out, but we're solid, and thankfully, you know, we have a son who's healthy and doing his thing, and the challenges that relationships and parenting bring, we've not only been able to work through, but help other people work through too. All of our friends are kind of like, you know, so what's up? I'm single.
Right.
I'm trying to get on y'all level. And we don't have a whole lot of friends to offer them.
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? Or if it's not that, it's something else, you know.
Or our married friends. I mean, either they're single and trying to find somebody, or married and trying to keep somebody. And, you know, we're just here to really offer a perspective and, you know, just guide people along the path, because, you know, it's a team effort. You know, it's not, you know, you against each other. It's you both against whatever the issue is. You know what I'm saying? And so just helping people see things from that perspective is kind of just what we do now.
Yeah, it's super fun because there are lessons we learn about each other that sometimes I know aren't just for us. It's so that we can help somebody else. And I think that's the case in life in general. You know, there's nothing that you go through that's just for you. No pain or, you know, no celebration that should just be solo. It should be both, and it should be able to help and empower somebody else. So I'm thankful that everything that we've learned being together and loving each other, we can translate into something that we help somebody else do with their spouse or with their friend or with their family member.